Hey guys, you got Chris and Sean with Talking Through the Medias. We're going to do a episode of We Got Your Mail. So some of you guys, sometimes you accidentally misspell who you were sending your email to, and actually we get a lot of these. And on the positive note, a lot of these questions would never get answered, but we will answer them for you. So we're going to go over a couple questions today, and we're going to say who they're from. And these people who got these will be informed that, what happened. They sent them to the wrong person. But on the good note, we will respond to yours right now. Oh, this first one is from D. Smith, and it says, "Isn't Dawn of the Planet of the Apes just a gritty reboot of 1987's Project X? Signed, Tech Dawn." Okay. Guys, for those of you who don't know what these movies are, okay, basically they just both have monkeys in them. That's the only similarity. So basically he's saying that because there's a type of animal in the movie that they're the same reboot. No, I'm sorry. I can't give you a pass on that one. I can't agree with you. That's ridiculous. And Chris, I don't think Chris has seen Project X. Project X was a movie that came out in '87 with Matthew Broderick and I think Helen Hunt back before her forehead, sloped for days and a half, about the project, about the government testing radiation on monkeys to see how pilots were affected during nuclear warfare. Planet of the Apes and all that. And by the way, I think if I'm figuring out where you're going with this, you had the wrong Planet of the Apes movie too. It was the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, not what did he say? Dawn? I think he said Dawn of the Planet. Yeah, so wrong ape movie. But basically, it just has monkeys. So no, it is not a gritty reboot of Project X. I'm sorry. So next, we will move on. Do you have anything to say about that, Chris?
Well, I've been sitting here waiting patiently for my partner to stop being rude and introduce me. I've been here the whole time, like this bastard is just fine. This is the Sean show. I'm okay with that. That's fine. But actually, I was sitting here laughing because I was like, Sean's gonna rip this guy up. But, hey, okay.
I do it nicely though. I don't mean any nasty harm. I just that was it was funny to me.
Sean was like, there's no such thing as stupid questions. Only stupid people. No. That's not. You're not. No. We're just teasing. We're just having fun with you. It's not far fetched at all. I understand exactly where the question is coming from. Reboot might have just been a strong word or the wrong. Could have been inspired by, or the premise could have been. Could this have happened in the same universe, kind of a thing? Like the way my theory that the Terminator is just the stage set right before the Matrix. Think about it. But Sean's right. I have not seen that movie from the beginning to end. I know of it, and from what I know, I'm getting a call on my phone. It's almost midnight, so that's going straight to voicemail. I don't know what the hell that guy is. Who answers the phone at 11:42 p.m.? The only connection is, like you said, a monkey. So no,
there's just monkeys.
The synopsis isn't anywhere near each other. It's kind of, you could kind of pick a few things and called it that, but no, it's too far different. So yeah, that was an interesting question. You made me think at first. I thought about it first. I was like, then I had to look up the synopsis. Like, no. Let's go back to my Terminator Matrix technology.
All right, so sir, with all due respect, you are going in the wrong direction with that. So our opinion is that, or at least my opinion is that I don't see the correlation between them, but they do have monkeys in them. So, all right, so the next one, Dane Falkenhagen says, "I recently went to my local theater to see Creed, and as the session began, the power went out and they canceled the screening. I ended up seeing The Night Before instead when the power came back on, which was good, but I'm still in a state of lack of Creed depression. Anything odd like that ever happened to you guys?" Okay. I'll let you start this one, Chris, and then I'll go.
The the weirdest thing that ever happened to me at a theater besides the blowjob was no. I tell you what, well, it wasn't a blackout. I was oh my god, I'm dating myself here. I was watching the Power Rangers movie in the movie theater. I think I was with at the time a best friend of mine. We were watching the Power Rangers movie, and I remember feeling how like this movie sucked. I was a Power Rangers fan, so I couldn't tell myself at the time that it sucked completely. I didn't criticize movies as hard as I do now, but when at the
You
very
wanted to like it. You wanted.
I liked it enough as a Power Rangers fan. I liked it. The thing is that at the very end of the movie, I think it was like some kind of weird space battle or something between the droid and the main villain or something in space or something going flying around. He was like, I don't know. Right at that point, you knew at the end that the Power Rangers were going to win, but right at that point when that fight was about to begin, the screen went blank. It just stopped. The film just stopped. The projector, there was something wrong with the projector. Something bad happened. It was weird. And me and my friend were like, let's try to see if we can get our money back. So we went back to the lobby. We complained that the movie like went out in the middle of the movie. Say, hey, the movie just went out. We want a refund, and they gave us our money back. But it was like literally at the very end. We saw the whole movie, and at the part that we didn't see, we could pretty much guess Power Rangers win. Still got I got to watch the movie for free, so that was a good day. That's my story.
I've been kind of fortunate. I really the only time. I mean, it was funny because I remember I was younger than I am now. Obviously, I think I went back in my partying days. I went and saw Blow, and with Johnny Depp, and there was a scene when they were smoking pot, and literally right when they're smoking pot, the film cuts. I guess because it was on a actual film, it wasn't a digital projector. The film broke, and then the lights kick on, and people were smoking pot in the movie theater on the front rows, and through the light from the projector, the projector, you see this big halo of smoke coming up through the light, and this sign comes up on the screen after a couple seconds that says, "Thank you for not smoking." But beyond that, I have very limited experience with technical difficulties at the theater, fortunately.
Well, we've been lucky in that aspect. Yeah, nothing weird like that, like the power of going out. I'm glad, thank God, that's never happened to me. I really have to think about that one. So yeah, that's the closest that I had to the power going out is just the film itself going out. So now that's it. That's it.
All right, so we are at our next question, and Chris, this is one from, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name, I apologize. From Pedro Henrique or Henrique.
Vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro. I will make all your wildest dreams come true. All right, so this Pedro says, "Hello guys at Collider. My question is, what is an art movie and the difference between cult art and indie movies?" Okay, so I actually found this to be kind of a cool question, but I think there's no, and I'll ask your opinion, obviously, Chris. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to that. I think
wrong again, Sean. No.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interpretive. Yeah. Like there may be a movie one might consider to be an art movie, and then one might say, well, I'll say this. The art movie is kind of a hard one to pin down. Now, cult movies, those are a little bit more identifiable. And indie movies, some of them are really easily identifiable. They have, there's no budget. It is shot, on a string budget.
An independent film, I think, is just if it's not backed by one of the major film industries like Warner, Disney. If it's not in that house, it's an independent. No matter how much money is put into it, it's an independent film.
All right. Well, Chris answered that one.
Boom.
So what would you consider a cult movie? I know my opinion about this, but what would you consider a cult movie? I call them cult classics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about what people call cult classics.
He didn't specify. He just says cult.
If it's cult classics and stuff like that, and cult movies, then it's I guess whatever and I guess the word classic is also
Right.
subjective as well, because one person's classic could be another person's garbage. But
My opinion.
I think cult movies are just whenever a niche group or a certain a generation or a group identifies with it for whatever reason, or it stands out for whatever. It's oh my god, it's a mind puzzler, and there's probably a perfect dictionary definition of it. But I guess if something that's a generation kind of makes it beloved, and it transcends to the translates to the next generation, and keep holding it up on whatever kind of a pedestal, it just doesn't die for whatever reason. I don't know. I guess that's my weirdest definition of cult. But I'm gonna defer to you, because I that's a mind twister for me.
So, the first reaction I get when someone says it's a cult classic, the first thing that kicks into my mind, guys, is that maybe it didn't do so well when it first came out, but now over the years since it's been released, it has become more and more and more popular. Now it's a cult classic, kind of like that movie, The Wraith. Do you remember The Wraith? We did a little. It's considered a cult classic. Although, I don't care what Chris says. I love that.
It's a cult classic to you.
It is. No,
I have literally never heard anybody talk about this movie until you brought it to my attention.
that's good. That's because Chris is ill-informed.
I'm lame, because I'm lame. I am. I'm very lame. I am, but the Wraith was good. The Wraith was good.
Talking shit about my movie. Charlie.
You know what? There it is. There's the definition of a cult classic. You know how people always react to a certain movie, that when to a certain person, that when they say that they don't like a movie that you love, it's like I heard this comedian say exactly. I heard this comedian phrase it so perfectly. It was like, what? You didn't like The Wraith? What are you trying to say? And then the other guy's like, well, I guess based on your reaction, I guess I'm saying your mother's a whore. People get so offended. Maybe that's the definition of a cult classic. A movie where a person just instantly gets enraged if you say you don't like it.
It's a classic. But I knew. Oh.
We're having some technical difficulties, folks.
Yeah, it gets caught in my long ass hair. I'm thinking about skinning my head back, guys, but that doesn't make me a racist.
So. Yeah.
All right, so let's.
Only I can be bald. But no, I mean, no, you're probably right. The Wraith is probably a cult classic.
He's being nice. He's totally bullshitting right now, guys.
No, because I actually did like The Wraith. I did like it. No, I just also felt like a cult classic is a movie that people are constantly kind of bringing up every now and then.
Well, yeah, and I think that's kind of the same thing. It's like some of them are more mainstream cult classics, but I think there's some small little niche movies that, like I said, my thing is that
Mortal Kombat.
Well, yeah, like the first Mortal Kombat movie would be considered a cult classic. It did not do very well when it first came out. I mean, it was critically panned. It really didn't make a lot of money, but it's kind of a fun memory. It's a fun movie.
Video game movie never made so far.
But that's not saying a lot.
But exactly, compared to all the other guys.
Yeah. It's not that bad. I was so pumped to go see that movie.
You know what? When you said mainstream cult classic, I think I have a definition of that. I think I have two definitions, actually. And we've talked about both of these movies and put them head to head to each other. Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump. I think
those are definitely cult. But on the side of mainstream, yeah. But they have the exception that they did do well, but they are still so beloved.
They're still regurgitated over and over every year. Yeah. Like A Christmas Story.
That's right there. You nailed it right there. Christmas Story is cult classic.
Cult classic. And it makes
National Lampoon, just all that stuff.
That movie makes more money in marketing, probably the commercials and whatnot, than you ever did in the theater.
Movie.
Yeah.
He's like, it must be Italian. It says fragile.
I'm going to call that a Coca-Cola classic.
All right. Anyway. So we've got our next one here, and this is let's see here. This is a little bit longer one, and this comes from a gentleman by the name of Pablo Mango. I don't know. This can't be the. That's no real name because it's signed Peter at the bottom. All right, so anyway, unless there's some guy named Pablo who works at Collider, which there might be. All right, so it says, "Hi, Collider crew. Just wanted to ask if you could clear up the whole Lex Luthor in Batman versus Superman. Is Jesse playing the son of Lex Luthor or Lex Luthor himself? I've heard it's Luthor's son he's playing. So if that's the case, why so much hate for Jesse Eisenberg for playing some that hasn't played on the big screen? Hope you can clear some of that." Yeah, he's doing little thing. I hope you can clear some of that up. And thanks. Signed, Peter. That is, I honestly never thought about that.
You didn't catch. You didn't. That's something that I caught the second time I watched the movie, and then it was confirmed later on Collider for me. It was that was not Lex Luthor. That was Lex Luthor Jr.
Wait. Well, hold up. You're blowing my mind here. Are you telling me that Jesse Eisenberg is not Lex?
And that's the problem. Yes, he is. So it's like it's two ways. I think honestly, this is my opinion, and this is just speculation. I might be totally wrong, or hopefully I'm right. I think without realizing it, Zack Snyder, or maybe he did it on purpose. Zack Snyder gave himself a get out of jail free card with Lex Luthor
in case they don't like the new Lex.
There was a scene, and I remember the second time I saw the movie, Jesse, when he was talking to the senator, I think he mentioned, I'm just the son. Lex, my dad came up with it. I can't take credit for the name Luthor or whatever. My dad came up with that. He was Lex Luthor. I'm just, son of Lex Luthor Jr. He mentioned that in the movie. You probably, I didn't catch it the first time, but I caught it the second time. And I'm thinking that if it still keeps going in the direction that it's going, and maybe people are like, "Oh my God, Jesse wasn't as great as Lex Luthor," where you should have went with what's his name, who everybody wanted to be
Bryan
Lex
Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, they did great.
I'm thinking that if Zack decides on it, I'm thinking that they might pull the plug now that we know what happened to Lex in this movie. Some of it, no spoilers. I'm not going to say anything. I'm thinking that that they're gonna bring Bryan Cranston into and bring in Daddy Lex, and he's like,
Daddy Lex.
Yeah, nice try, son. Let me show you how to fucking kill
Get
Superman.
your bald ass out of here.
Exactly.
You can be someone's prison pitch.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that's what happens. I'm hoping that, because no offense to what's his name that played, was it Jesse? Yeah. I mean, he's a great actor in his own right. I just feel like I think he was miscast for this. Because then later I heard that he was originally supposed to be Jimmy Olsen, and that's who he studied for. That's who he developed, that quirky, weird, like twitchy character that we saw. I'm sorry again, spoilers, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to say too much, but if you don't want to be spoiled, I'm gonna probably get into spoiler territory. That twitchy, like kind of weird character of Lex that we saw, that was what he was training for, to be Jimmy Olsen.
I can totally see him being Jimmy Olsen.
And then when in the middle of filming or whatever, they were like, you know what? We're not gonna have Jimmy Olsen in the Zack decided against Jimmy Olsen. They said, well, how about we cast you for Lex? And he was like, fine, but I'm not going to change the style that I was going to use for Jimmy Olsen. For Lex Luthor. I'm going to keep the same kind of acting style, what I've been trying to bring to this movie, and I'm going to do the same thing for Lex, which I thought was, when I heard that, I was like, that's why Lex didn't feel right to me, because he was being stubborn. He's like, no, fuck, if I was Zack, I would have been like, fuck that. No, I have a vision. Yeah, I have a vision for Lex Luthor. This whole time, you just admitted you've been training and doing this weird shit for Jimmy Olsen, and now you're gonna tell me that you're gonna keep doing that for Lex Luthor? No, no, you're gonna do Lex Luthor the way I wrote him and the way I want him to be played, or you're not gonna do it at all. I would have told him to get out of the damn movie if he'd have told me that shit, but that's just me. So I don't know. I like Jesse, but when I heard that, then now it totally takes me out of him ever being Lex again. I hope they pull the plug, and I hope they bring in
You don't
Daddy
think he's
Lex.
coming back?
I think he is, but I hope that Zach has given him a get out of Jesse free card with us knowing that that's actually Lex Luthor Jr. I hope he stays where he's at. I hope Daddy comes in, and I hope it's Bryan Cranston, because I don't know. I don't like the fact that what we saw was supposed to be used for Jimmy Olsen, and he decided to keep the same acting style for Lex Luthor. Who the hell thinks that Lex Luthor?
You imagine if they put Johnny Depp as Lex Luthor with a shaved head.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Bryan Cranston or nobody. That's how I feel about it. But
Well,
I don't know. Now that I've blown your mind, now that you know that is actually that we saw Lex Luthor Jr. technically,
Junior.
how do you feel about what you saw?
Well, it's weird you say that, because I just didn't think about it. I knew it was his father's company, but I didn't connect that he's Junior. Like I did. I don't know.
Because in Smallville, the TV show, he was Lionel Luthor.
Okay. Well, I think it's interesting, but I am in total agreement. I would really honestly have rather seen Bryan Cranston as Lex, but we'll see. So
Bring on the crack!
bring on the Cranston.